What's up, YouTube? It's been a while. This is actually my third time trying to record this video. I recorded it a couple weeks ago and didn't love it. I just recorded it 10 minutes ago and then realized I didn't have a microphone on. So, third time's a charm. But we're talking about magazines and specifically Double Stack 9, also known as 2011 magazines. I'm going to put some video in here. Bottom line is I was at a match the weekend after Christmas and had a catastrophic magazine failure in an Atlas mag. I've been having all year. I've been having an occasional round get underneath the follower, and I couldn't track it to a specific mag. And I emailed Alice and like, hey, this is going on. I was planning on changing the springs anyways. It's going to fix it. And they said yes. They said also check some other stuff that we'll talk about, but yes, that will fix it. So I have four of the 141s, whatever they are. Atlas mags, ordered four springs, four followers, not super expensive, less than $100, which is I really like these DLC coded ones. These MSRP for more than $100. Sometimes you can get them on sale, but they're not cheap. So is that a good thing? Yes, it is. So here is a new spring. Here is one of the old springs. Goes like that I took out. So you can see an entire coil, or about an inch shorter. And then really to compare that to an MBX mag spring, here's a spring out of an MBX. So you're talking like 3 coils shorter. But again, the MBX, different. I'm not a metallurgist, different material, different springiness, different elasticity. I don't know. I need to order some new ones of these too. I also ordered some new followers. I ordered all new everything, all new guts. Stony guts. Sorry, don't mess with the Zohan. But after comparing the new followers to the old followers, really not much wear and tear on the followers. These are pretty quality followers. Atlas on their channel has a 13-minute video on the history of Double Stack 9 mags, and they know way more about it than I ever will. But quick version synopsis: 2 leading brands, MBX and Atlas, in my opinion, 2 leading brands. MBX has a good rep. They hold an extra round or 2 depending on the spring and the follower. Atlas is Atlas, right? So what do I like about the Atlas ones? And for the record, I shoot both, and they both shoot just fine out of my MPAs. I really like these are DLC coated. I really like that. I like the darker finish on them as opposed to the chrome anyway. And then this DLC feeds into the gun really nice. I don't. This feeds fine. I tried to get my little etcher out and etch my name into these because I've had some mags try to walk off and I've had to work to find them, and they ended up rusting. So that's not the mag's fault. That's my fault for etching through the coating. I could not etch through the DLC coating with my little Amazon etcher, so I ended up having to put my name in the base plate, which I can hardly read. So I probably need to take these in to get them later laser engraved with numbers and my name so that I know that they're mine. Yeah, so that's that. So springs are longer, followers. Other differences, this is a MBX follower. So you see it looks like kind of like a little mitten. Maybe it looks, is that Michigan? Or one of those looks like that. This is their competition follower. This is also a competition follower, but you can see they've kind of gone with a different approach on that. And if you look at the two, try and move that in, catch some light, you can really tell that this is a 3D printed follower and this is some sort of plastic injection molding type follower. So I think the followers alone are better. This follower here certainly got some chew marks on it. I'm going to buy some new ones and kind of compare them. But all in all, this, like I said, this is pretty cheap as far as doing an upgrade to your mags. The other thing I was going to do, I started out, when I first started shooting PRS, I did not realize how much magazines mattered because the Army had always handed me a magazine, and if it didn't work, I threw it in the trash and I grabbed another one, and that was just the way it works in the Army. When you buy your own mags, you don't want to do that all the time. So I bought this really cool thing off Masterpiece Arms. It is really nothing more than a chunk of aluminum with a slot cut in it, and this is what I used to tune my PRS mags. And lo and behold, my gun fed so much better once I tuned my PRS mags. I have not yet found the desired measurements for these. I did watch it. They've got several. Atlas has several videos up about magazine tuning because the process has evolved over the years. I think the newest one I found was 2 years old. There might be a newer one out there, but that's just looking for a minute. That's what I found. And basically, there's 3 measurements they're looking at. What can I point with? They're looking at the measurement at the back. All right, that goes across the back of the magazine. You've got these kind of flat parts here before you get into the ridges. So you're measuring the front, kind of midway of the magazine, but the front of those flat parts. And then they call this kind of the diamond area. You're measuring the narrow part right there where it would pinch around and make sure it stays there as it comes up. So what they had is like a less than a 0.5, so less than a half an inch at the top of the diamond. And they had a 1 inch down measurement that I didn't have. That might be what's kind of goofy with these. They had a measurement in the back, which I was hearing the guy talk. It sounds like it's about a 0.33, 0.335. And then the front of the flat's kind of the midpoint of the magazine. So in between the diamond and the back, you're looking at like a 0.35. As I measured all these, are all within 4 or 5 thou under, which is apparently the way you want to be. You don't want to be over, you want to be under. It makes sense. But you can be 2 under. If you think about this thing being full and hitting concrete, you can bend those feed lips in and mess them up. So that was not my problem. My problem was other problems. But yeah. So cool. When you do this for 3 times, you get shorter every time, and now I'm down under 7 minutes. So more to come. YouTube. I bought a new dry fire book. We're going to talk dry fire soon. At least from my recommendation what to go get. All right, YouTube. Have a good one. Bye.